mean, as far as material, I really think the material in Heretic was amazing. It's just that some people didn't really get into the sound because it was so digital.
Awesome.
Good sound. Which one? Sound
Heretic.
Right.
It's so
But it's so different.
It's so different from Gateways.
Yeah, and it's so different than what other bands were doing at the time. You know, it's like, to me, there's almost like, not to use the word wrong, but there's trends to sound of time. Records come out, you know, and people go for certain sounds at certain times, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Heretic, I think most people were probably going for a little bit more ballsy sound, a little bit more bass, maybe someone inspired by Gateways, because that was a more low-tune, ballsy, bass, whatever kind of sound. And then Heretic, all I wanted was this material was so intricate. And the two guitar harmonies, the way that they would build, not just like doing like a fifth or something, but different motions.
Oh,
it was like
a fifth. You're actually talking my language, buddy.
Yeah.
Like R&B.
Hell
yeah.
Right. Yeah. It's like in the earlier stuff, most of the harmonies were there was a few polyrhythms, but a lot of it's just like doing the same motion, but like a fifth or a third or whatever like that.
Yeah.
But when it got to like Heretic and Gateways, there was just completely different songs going on at the same time. That's where I really wanted to go.
There was.
So like Beneath the Hollow, that's like, you know, one guitar is going with this kind of triplet, and then the other one's going dun. So it's like two different. Yeah.
You know, we have any idea what your name I
don't know yet. I want to get the material going first. See what,
I hope you make it past Z.
Sure, that's a long way.
They will.
We don't put out records so fast. I wish I could make the process, you know, quicker and all that, but I want to have stuff that's unique, you know, with every record, with the riffs and things like that. I try to really go for something, so I don't know. Sometimes I just get blank as to what to do next. You know, that would be a nice contrast from, you know, stuff in the past.
I'm sure it got it pretty hard, you know, like you've been through so much, you know. Like
it has been a long time.
Yeah,
it's definitely a lot of riffs.
You guys been through so much. I mean, shit. Like that's like so long. Like I mean, yeah, you did Ultras and Madness, you did Legend, you did fucking Covenant, like all that shit. Like after like this much like of fucking work, like how do you keep the creativeness? You know?
I don't know.
It's gotta be tough.
It's because he has it, man.
It has to be.
Because he has it, dude. I don't know if you pay. I don't know if you pay attention.
It's just like exploration, you know.
Yeah.
Not so much I go on vacations to different places, but I go to different places with like my thinking. It's about my thinking and the way that I am moved by things, and that stuff is an adjust. You know, I got to find this new thing, because I remember, like, you know, back in the day, what inspired those different records and those riffs, and
you mean like Domination and Covenant and stuff like
all of it.
Yeah. Like what
there was
each individual
on the last last three records, there was so many fucking riffs and timings and shit, and it was like one song would have, you know, the guitars doing different things, so it'd be almost like two cool riffs that someone could have made two songs out of, but I made one out of it. You know?
Yeah.
And I just don't want to just repeat the same kind of riffs. You know? Like trying to think of like on Gateways, that Age is Still I Am, that had like such laid out, like this neo-gothic classical, just evil storm, just going fast but yet moving slow, and the way the blast beat was used in the chorus and stuff, I don't know. Got to keep finding, you know, that little edge.
That new little edge.
Yeah.
You actually did, like, when it comes to Gateways, you guys actually did, like, create a whole new, like, founding for yourself. Like, you guys actually.
Yeah. I thought so too. It had a lot of, because Formula still was really old school. It had a bit of swing, like nothing has not had a swing to it.
Actually, Gateways did have a lot
had
of
swing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had it there. that car was falling off.
Just kind of beats. They're not really just blast beats, but they're like really real fast double bass and shit. They're snappy,
they're
but
textured,
it's swinging.
like actually like textured snare beats, you know, like
right. Yeah, like in Age Still I Am, man. The drums for that, I still think that's some cool ass shit.
Oh,
the way it was like, it had that. The hands were like slow and like epic, but the feet were fast double bass. So it's like bum 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 pow. And they had this roll, this kind of just fucking eruption, a little roll that would come out of nowhere.
Yeah. It was really your favorite guitarist?
Well, he was the one that I think made the biggest impression on me, because I was, that's what I grew up on, was like when those first records came out. I was also listening to like Michael Schenker and Sabbath and Judas
Michael
Priest
Schenker, wow.
Ehrlich Roth from Scorpions,
Holy shit.
real trippy players, Frank Marino.
You know about
but Eddie Van Halen, to me, the way that he came in with this such a new approach of guitar, he had the effects, he had, bits and pieces of other stuff, but the way that he laid in some of that tapping and shit, the way he presented it, that was what really made the impact on me. It was just, the guitar just really went into another kind of realm, the way that he did it.
You know what I like it most about it? It's like, you as a guitar player would fucking appreciate this as most. Taking your picking hand, right, and resting it on top of the fret, condensing it, like a, what's it called?
Muted?
A dampener, like a guitar dampener, while you're doing the tapping like this. Like, you take your picking hand and dampen your strings while you're tapping. I like that a lot.
I think I've done that on some stuff in the past. I don't really do it so much in the set, but yeah, I know what you mean. I've definitely done it on record.
Yeah, it's all about
an old thing, doing the hammer-ons and just rolling off the scale.
It's all about
down and muting everything. No, I'm actually okay. I'm good on that thing.
Sure?
Yeah.
It's actually...
I'm good.
I'll hit it. Trey, it's
that's
actually...
for the legato feel.
Oh, there you go.
Legato.
Yes.
That's
actually...
why I like to do just a lot of tapping too, because it has more of a legato, and then mix that up with the abrasive staccato, with the chewing, kind of just over picking, thinking like a balance thing. Fire in the water. Now look at the legato, it's like the water flowing out.
My favorite picture is with Sailor Moon in the background.
What happened? What happened with that Tony? Like, I saw on MySpace, Tony disappeared.
Yeah, it was just more like he went on some kind of vacation or something, and no one was in touch with him. And we had a tour that one show that just popped up out of the blue, and we were concerned about him, and we didn't find him in time.
Yeah, because I'm like on MySpace, and I saw like 4 or 5 bulletins go across, like, Tony's missing.
Well,
I'm like...
I would never post such a thing, but I think it was David. He just felt it was
Jen Torture's, like, that are posting about it. That's because I knew they were the one on my list that consistently was, like, everyone worried about it. I was like, yeah, well, I can see why I'd be worried.
Well, yeah, I figured it was going to be something like that. It's just whatever.
You still drive Trans Ams?
Huh?
You still drive?
I have, yeah. It's cool, man. We used to have like all these different things we dug up from graveyards and shit, like this big urn and this big marble cross and shit back then.
That's cool, man. Yeah. That's what I wanted to ask you, man. Like how it was back in like the old days and stuff, like when you first started out.
Yeah, it was a beginning.
Yeah,
that's all I can say.
That's gotta be great, man.
I mean, from the very beginning, I always wanted to have, like really good blast beats and double bass and stuff. But Mike Browning was, he had a little bit different, style and shit like that.
He more or less wanted to do vocals, didn't he?
Right.
He did vocals and drumming at the same time. Like, he actually wanted to do vocals.
Because I had so many ideas even back then, and it was just some of the ideas were like beyond, you know, what his style was, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, even like songs like "Thy Kingdom Come," that was a really old song.
Yeah.
And it didn't debut until like the demo when we had the one drummer Wayne, who played it a bit slower, but once we put it on Blessed with that, you know, that performance, that had the right speed to it that I was thinking.
Yeah.
That was like the triplet waltz piece, but then it's got
Flyers.
this little snare kind of thing that comes in.
Nice.
Cool. What's this? This is
That's some old school stuff.
Is it old school or is it a bootleg?
Yeah, it's like, no, it's something I got from a friend.
Cool.
It says limited edition 500. I mean,
That's nice,
I'm not,
man.
not
yeah, I don't think that's that doesn't look like the original.